I disagree with you guys a bit on that. They need new defenders because these defenders have each won at least one Champions League as a starting centre back.
Rudiger is 30 plus.
Yeah. But then you see again, unless you agree with the system of football where you have to come back from 2 goals down, 1 goal. Literally every time.
I don't disagree, but I'm just saying that these guys have shown their quality.
I understand it is not in doubt. They are quality guys, but maybe there's lack of competition.
I think Real Madrid benefits more from
competition.
They benefit more
can make you very complacent.
Yep, they benefit more from offensive quality. And look, this has been a thing since I started following Real Madrid. Real Madrid have always believed that they are better off outscoring an opponent than keeping their back tight.
It's in their club DNA to play attacking football.
No, but exactly. Alex, there's nothing wrong with that. But you should acknowledge and respect
your opponents,
the opposition quality if they have one. And this Barcelona team coming into this game have shown that if you allow them, they will punish.
And I have to say, I know this is not a Carlo Ancelotti thing, because even though we know Carlo Ancelotti, he's had some big defeats in his career.
Yeah.
One thing you can never accuse him of is neglecting the defense, because when he needs to play defensive, he needs to sit back. He can do it. He can organize a team to sit back. Like I said, he's not really into that pressing kind of thing, maybe because he's a bit older than some of these newer managers. When he started, pressing wasn't the same way.
No, so maybe it wasn't at all.
I mean, this is someone who started coaching in the 90s.
Yes. Yep.
The other people he's been compared to started their careers years out. He had won 2 Champions League by the time Pep coached his first Barca. So he's been in the game a long time. So when it comes to organizing defense and stuff, this is definitely the best. I think this is definitely on their players because we've seen his teams.
That's what I've said.
Yeah. We've seen them.
Every goal they conceded
was
the 2 centre backs had issues.
They look like they don't even communicate.
But I guess maybe they are also not used to playing with each other. Because remember when Militao was starting, there was another centre back. I can't remember who else. I think he played with Alaba.
He played with Alaba.
Then they won the Champions League. Then Alaba and Militao both got injured. Then they had to do Rudiger and Nacho.
They played Nacho, yeah.
Rudiger and Nacho to win the Champions League. So it's like now Militao has come back. And it's like I guess he's now getting used to working.
Again, I think they need to create competition in that.
I think they need a brain in their defense. They don't. You see, these are like I'm saying. These are 2 hackers. Rudiger's first instinct when he's going to tackle is
to rush for it.
Let me rush for it and hack the guy. Militao's even worse.
That first half, he was kicking Lewandowski everywhere.
And coach, let me ask you something before we wrap up the show. I watched the game on another network that had Patrick Kluivert doing the analysis. One of the analysis he did that fascinated me was Mbappe being caught offside about 5 times. 6 times.
Do you remember we spoke about the highlight?
Now, Patrick Kluivert says that what they teach strikers is that when you are trying to play on the shoulders of the defense and just slip to the offside line, you don't run directly. You run a curl and then go through. But apparently he says Mbappe kept
going the same way.
And nobody was telling him.
But you see, you know what Mbappe's thing is? And someone mentioned this on Twitter, and I think there's some credence to this. When you are playing on the wing, you can see the whole defensive line.
Kluivert did make that point.
Yeah,
he said Mbappe is used to play on the left.
Exactly. You can see the whole defensive line on the wing because you're on their outside. When you're in the middle and you have to look left, you have to look right. It's a different head movement. And I guess because he's not played in the center as much, he's also now
rewiring his DNA.
Exactly.
But the best way to solve that, he's a very pacey player.
Just relax.
I think some of the balls that were put to him, if he was not starting, he was even giving them a start, or he would have gone past them.
How does he become a better, more clinical guy for Real Madrid? Because he is missing chances that he would typically score.
I won't say this much. I believe the pressure of the match. This is probably one of the biggest matches he's played. He's played in a World Cup final, but this is probably the biggest club match he's played in his career.
I agree.
First El Clasico, he's probably a bit rattled. And you've had 2 goals disallowed. You've been caught offside 6 times. There's probably a lot going on in his brain. He's probably a bit rattled by because 6 times offside in 1 half. That's a lot. Yeah. So it's probably like, hey, okay, am I offside? Am I not offside?
Am I even that good?
I just feel like the psychology of it all got to him. I want to say that that's the issue. I don't believe that Mbappe can't score goals or there's a problem with it. I just believe that.
Are you buying that? Are you thinking the same thing?
No. Look, I do believe he's too good a player to be committing the sort of mistakes he was committing yesterday. With regards to the number of times he was caught offside,
yeah.
He has to learn. This is a player who's won the World Cup, who scored 3 goals in the World Cup final. Yeah. He's a player with a big heart. And like Kluivert did say, the movement should be this and that. Not this. when you want to play on the shoulders, you should be peeling away and then
you
drop
cut in.
And
that's the way.
Just look at how Lewandowski went for
He can't tell me he's not aware of that.
And look at Lewandowski for the first goal. Lewandowski is much slower than him,
but
timed his run perfectly. That's experience.
See,
I think Lewandowski
he didn't take his run this way.
Look,
he didn't take his run. He went
this way and
then he went this way.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let me read a few messages to close out the show. Kwame from Takrady says, I remember when coach said Barca can't compete with Real Madrid because they have Mbappe, Vini and Jude, and Hansi will struggle. I hope he changes his mind now.
But coach has said that this is the best Barca side.
I don't remember him saying that.
No, what I said was that at the beginning of the season, nobody could have tipped them to do what they are doing. Because they are not bought good players. True. They were relying solely on academy boys. So you couldn't have said, nobody would have said that Barca went dominant.
And that's what I'm saying. So, to be fair to coach on Panorama, he said this is the best Barca side he's seen for 10 years.
For the past 10 years.
This one here, Prince from Akemoda, Eastern Region says, Barca is on a mission. What a beautiful victory at the Bernabeu. Our defense is turning offside into an art form. Scary. I always said that Ancelotti is not a true gentleman. When he wins, he acts like a master of football. When he loses, he shows poor sportsmanship and a lack of acceptance.
I think that's not true.
That incident, one of the Barcelona,
he said the Barcelona assistant guy was
misbehaved.
Yeah.
So if you look, he compared them. Flick more or less.
He says Flick agreed with him that his assistant was acting up.
And also, I mean, Ancelotti has lost so many games, and this one the first time.
But he's lost 4-0 to Barcelona before. This is not the first time he's lost.
He's lost 4-0. He's lost the 4-0 that has happened to him. He's lost finals.
And he said that
I think he lost 4-0 to even Xavi.
Yeah, and he said the last time he lost 4-0, he won the league.
He lost 4-0 to Xavi, actually. Yeah. So this one is from Parkway. The last message, Kwache from Achim Otreso says, hard to folk and Man United's inconsistencies are making every weekend uncomfortable for we, the fans. Ben, you guys are the best. Keep up the good work.
And Black Stars is doing him.
He says, Maresca is a good coach. We are now seeing the good transfers are paying off. Kudos to the Chelsea transfer team. Ben from Nungwa. EPL is a scam. Referees and VR decide who wins games and who wins games. That's Kingsford. Abraham Jedu from Broadcasting says, in fact, today is a bad Sunday for me as my two clubs, Man United and Hearts, all lost their matches. I think they all lack good coaches. Anyway, that's it for us.
Man and Hearts, they change it. There's plenty teams in Accra. Pick another one.
Thank you very much, Coach Dimley, especially for the tactical breakdown.